Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. So I'm back again with another Tower of God video, and I'm back in the walk up, and this time I am on 71 to 80. So obviously there's a lot to go down in this path, and let's hit it off with a big banger. So here we are in episode 71. We have Yuri and Ren. Yuri just tried to flick Ren and Ren dodged instantly. And obviously we know what's following this when it comes to what's going on. We know that Blueberry and the rest of their teammates are all over the place. Miss Ice Strawberry, who's with Lowry, and several of the others are interacting with the regulars. And finally, Mr. Blueberry makes contact with the rest of his team, and they're busy giving each other coordinates, and they're talking about the fact that Yuri is fighting. At this point, Edwin Edrock, Yuri's guide, makes communication with them and tells them not to do anything. He'll sort this out. And here is a hint of how powerful he is. He is strong enough that everybody will obey him, and that there should be a very big indicator that he isn't as weak as he thinks. So anyway, finally, Evan reaches Hansang Yu, and he sees that Hansang has been waiting for them. And he explains that Evan Cal was away, and if Evan Cal wasn't away, that they would be dead already. And Evan says that there's a member of Red in between, and that he's going to interfere and take out the member of Red. And he finds out that they already knew that that was their purpose. And he says he's carrying out this test under the guardian of this floor. So eliminate the member of Red and retrieve your Black March. And basically that's what Hansang Yu tells to them. At this point, Evan is really thrown for a loop, and he basically explains that they can, but obviously Yuri can't kill the member of Red because she is a princess of Jahad. And basically he says that he's sending Kuridan in. Now Kuridan is a wave controller. He has the special wave control method called the Wave Cutter, and Princess Yuri basically grabs the Black March and says she's getting out of there. And she basically calls in Kuridan. He uses his special attack, the Cutter, and he kills Ren. Now, basically, he smashes Ren into the floor really, really hard till he's like a bug splat on the ground. Now, you have to understand why this is so important. Kuridan is one of the most powerful wave controllers in the tower, using his special ability. And we get this hint that this is somebody who's from the top echelons of power. And these are high rankers, all of them, because they're part of the wing tree. They're part of Wula Song, and that's everybody in Yuri's team. Ice Strawberry, Blueberry, Kuridan, the whole lot of them are Wula Song members. Only Yuri and Evan are Jahad members. We then find out that Ren is only using a substitute body and he'll leave, and he doesn't even have proof about what's going on. He then admits that he sent the bull to take out the irregular. And he basically says that even killing him won't stop it. And then finally, Lady Yuri, or Princess Yuri Jahad, decides she's going to blow up the entire stage, and Hansang Yu steps in and says that's enough. If she interferes anymore, Baum will automatically fail the test. And she explains that she's going to be coming to kill Han Sang-yu immediately after this, yeah. And basically Yuri is given the whole thing that she needs to trust in Bam, that he can do this on his own. And Yuri asks Enderosi if she thinks Bam will survive, and Enderosi says yes, because I date him if he comes back alive. And basically Yuri hits off the little thing, are you really that conceited? And Yuri passes a Wingtree badge to Shibisu, and she basically says, come to the 77th floor when he becomes a ranker. Tell him Yurik Mizuno is waiting. And when they hear that, they're all super shocked, and Yuri goes up to Anak and she pulls away the green April from her, and she walks away, leaving her without her weapon. At this point, Blueberry disconnects, and he basically shows that he's part of Ula Yuk Song, and he leaves the lighthouse. Now, in the anime, he actually antagonizes Kun a little bit to say he can take him up to Princess Maria. Now, this may be something that SIU has planned, that he's going to be part of that, or it could be totally just for the sake of the anime that they put that in. But he didn't want him in that way. And after that, they continue back with their test, and things start going crazy. They all have things in the right spot, and as Evan is walking through, he sees a red witch, and he thinks to himself, what is a guy doing here? And then he continues on. So 72 is now complete. We go on to 73. We get a flashback to Bam and Rachel in the start, and we see Bam and Rachel playing a game, and Bam is prolonging the game so that the game doesn't finish quickly, so that he has more time to play and that he has more time with the company. And he's basically being told that only the chosen people live up there. She says that she wants to take him, but she can't, and she'll play more games with him next time. Just hold on till then, Bam, and basically Bam is left in that hole. So Bam explains there's nothing he can do alone, so he just sits there and he waits. So Bam and Rachel start having a conversation, and Bam asks how her legs feel, and she then asks Bam, does he know why she wants to see the stars? And he explains he doesn't know, and basically they continue with that small conversation as they're about to be swallowed by the Gobi dolphin, and it's getting to that point. And Bam explains that he always wished he could play with her one day and go up to the real world where the chosen were and all, and basically that's what he said. And Rachel explains that she wasn't chosen, and basically they have the little conversation where they start exchanging a whole lot of ideas. And Rachel explains that Bam hasn't changed at all, and Bam explains that he's become stronger, he's learned to control Shinsu, he's met a lot of amazing people, he's met Yuri, Kun, Rak, Ho, and Rossi, and he's even had to let go of so many people now. And basically he says there's still more dangers to come, and he's still going to go up. And then Rachel says she's sorry, that it's her fault. And we don't know what's going on, and all of a sudden the bull attacks. And when the bull attacks, Bam pulls off one of his attacks, and he finally stops the bull. And we know that there is the special power he learned from Quant, and that's the end of the chapter where he stops it. Now there is a question. He can always stop the bull. It is something he's capable of, but he cannot defeat the bull because he doesn't have an assault. He can stop it, he just can't attack at the same time. So we get into the next episode where Shibisu and the Rossi are talking, and basically it's explained that that do you really think that Bam could do it? And she says, well, he definitely can stop the bull, but the problem is that Bam doesn't have a way to hurt the bull once it's stopped. He doesn't have any offensive Shinsu abilities. And Bam starts thinking he has to make a second bang in order to do this. Remember, dual controlling Shinsu, it's quite difficult, and he has to master it in order to get through this. Yeah. And in the moment he releases it, he gets attacked by the bull, and he thinks to himself, he has to find a way to do this. Yeah, he can't stop this here. So then he thinks about it, and he starts concentrating his power, and he attacks. And the bull hurts him again, causing him to bleed. Finally, he realizes he was too slow, and that if he doesn't do this here, he's going to lose Rachel as well, and the rest of his friends are also going to have a bad time. And he explains that he can't be the boy who just waited. He then finally concentrates all his power and he jumps straight into the bull's mouth. This is something which is reminiscent to how he started his story, and he releases all his Shinsu at once, attacking and defeating the bull. At this point, Bam is really tuckered out. He used an immense amount of power, and this is something just for you to understand. This shows Bam was of a level greater than Ender Rossi. The bull right now is in the same power that he managed to subdue Ender Rossi, and Bam is proven that he's even more powerful. So we already know that Bam was the most powerful person on this floor if all his power was at his disposal. And they keep going, and Bam basically says he'll take Rachel up no matter how far they have to go. And as he extends his hand to Rachel, Rachel stands up and pushes him, and she says, "Sorry, Bam, you should stay here." And Bam basically starts screaming, "Why?" And that is the end of it. That is one of the heartbreaking moments of the Tower of God. There is 74, and that's how it ends, with Bam being thrown over. We then get into 75, where they're at the Gobby Dolphin Queen, and they're looking at the point where it's going to spit out the people from inside the test. And Rachel comes out, and they say the bull attacked them suddenly, and he tried to protect her, and he fell. And basically, that is how the exam ends. And Rachel passed out. Kun and the rest of them are all in the waiting room. And basically, they called all regulars there. However, two of them didn't show up. That was Ender Rossi and Rak. They were devastated. You have to understand that at this point, we find out just how close they were with Bam. They loved Bam in a way that you couldn't understand. And we see that Kun is in a very bad mood as well, because he can't even tolerate himself. So after this year, Pericles starts asking if they passed the test, and basically basically we get the whole hint of Hats holding his teammates dear. At this point, we see that Hats actually holds Bam in quite a strong sense, and he basically threatens to kill Paracule. And then we get Leroro interfering, saying that fighting is not permitted outside of the test. Put your sword down. And Paracule asks his question. And basically tells him that they passed the test. But before the test, Bam asked the Guardian for a favor in person. If he died during the test, he wanted the rest of you to go up to the next floor, no matter the results. And then Kun said, then does that mean that Bam's And Lero says, "I'm sorry, but Balm is dead." And we see the pain hit everybody, and we just see Rachel pass out inside a chair. And basically they say they couldn't find him, but there's very little chance that he's alive. And Rachel just is flopped down. They go and they start treating her. And they basically all feel sorry, and they think that she must be feeling the worst, because she thinks Balm died for her. It must have felt like her whole world came crashing down. And they suggest something. They're all in debt to Balm, so why don't they carry out what he decided for in the start? So they're gonna carry Rachel, and basically they all say they'll do it, and everybody is in on it. And eventually Paracule joins in, and they basically say no thanks to Paracule, and Hutz and Paracule go at it. And Kun basically says he can't let things end like this here, but we know that Kun has already spoken to someone else. And basically Kun says he'll make sure that the wish comes true. At this point, Hwari-Yun enters the room, and she goes up to Rachel. Now Rachel isn't really asleep. Rachel is faking it, because Rachel is a drama queen like this here. And says, "Congrats on becoming the hero of your story." And that is the end of 75. Now, there's a lot of nitty-gritty details going on, but I want to get through all of this here quickly, and I'll explain it all at once. Because from the end of the test to this point, there's so much going down. And we then get Hwari-Yun talking about it, and she explains what happened. We see Rachel starting her journey into the tower. We see the doors opening, and we see her drop in. Then we see Hiron show up, and she's calling him the fairy of the tower, one who leads the children to the top. And she says, the tower didn't open for you, it's not you. The person the tower chose, it's not you. Basically, she says that there. And Hiron basically says, you're ugly, and how bad you are. You were not chosen. And basically we get all of these hints that Rachel has been doing bad things. And it's actually in this point that I figured out something even more crazy. She is the one who told Balm he's not allowed to go to the light. She is the one who's been stopping Balm from going to the light. She is the one who's been stopping Balm to go up to where the chosen people live. She's been responsible for keeping Balm in the cave this whole time. We know that Balm had a destiny up in the tower, and we didn't understand what the whole craziness with her was. It may be a little bit fishy at this point to actually go back all this way and say it, but if you're looking at everything, she stopped Balm from joining the people where he was meant to be, with the other chosen, in the light, in the regular world. She didn't allow Balm out of the cave. She kept Balm in the cave. She's the monster at this point. Hiron says he can see what a bad person she is and how ugly she truly is. So there's something that she did that was really wrong. And she basically begs Hiron to give her a test. She says, "Very well, only if you pass this test." And he taps and he opens the test for her. Now the test that was set up for her is the white steel eel and the ball. And he explains that it's hungry, just like how I said in the first set. And that all you have to do is simply go in there, escape from the eel, and pop the ball. And she says, basically, you tell me to go in there and die. And he says, no, I'm telling you to go in there and pop the ball. Isn't that the same as dying? How can I escape from the big monster and pop the ball? And he says, basically, you just want to kick me out because I'm not the chosen kid. This is where things really get important. And she says she doesn't want to die. And she's basically asked for a real chance. And basically says, finally the real guest has arrived. If you're not taking the test, please step aside. And he says she's troublesome. At this point, we see her looking over as Balm arrives, and that he came into the tower. And she sees Balm going to take the test, without anything, and the fact that he was willing to rush in. And we see how Hiran was smiling and she's screaming that Bam mustn't take the test. That was 76. Now we get a look at what Rachel has been doing this whole time, and this is where things get really important. We then see Bam finish the test. Rachel sees everything, and she says, basically, Hiran asks, "What will you do?" And she says it's not fair. And she says Bam got help from the girl with that weird weapon. And basically, Hiran says, that's not what was important, right, little girl? Isn't it important to try at least? Unlike you, he wasn't afraid to fight with that monster. He was quite brave and special, so we already know that Bam really is the chosen one, right? And he says that he doesn't think that Rachel deserves to go up the tower. And she basically starts whining and pulling off a Karen, a proper Karen. And she basically asks, why was Bam chosen? Why? She's the one who wants to go up the tower. Why is that? Why? Basically, she starts screaming. And the fact that Bam took everything from her. And this is something which hints to that first part. Bam was meant to go up into the light and interact with the others when he was revived. In other words, there were people waiting for him. I suspect they were going to train Bam before he ever entered the tower. They were going to get Bam up to speed. I think he might have even had a chance to meet his mother had he left that cave. I think that's how crazy it is. I think that up there on the top, there were people waiting and ready to help Bam get into the tower and supplant Jahad. That's how crazy I think this really was. I think he was going to be even more crazy if they had trained him. And then Hiran offers her to make a deal. If you do me a favor, I can make you the heroine of the story. So that's what he says. Then we get the whole initiation with her and Hansang, when Hansang makes coffee for her, and the fact that Ghost was given to her to help her. And Hansang basically promises to steal everything from Bam and give it to Rachel. And he introduces her to Waryun, and Waryun gives her the whole plan, says she'll guide her from now on. And Rachel explains that she's a bit tired from what she has done. And Waryun leaves, and she says, "Can I ask you something? Why are you going to such lengths to see the stars?" Then she says, "I'm afraid of the night." And we find out that Bam also means night in Korean. So we get a hint that she was afraid of Bam. And Bam isn't the name for Bam, right? We need to remember this here as well. When you're reading things at this level, you have to literally grind down to the fine details. She stopped Bam from getting to the light. She gave the name Bam to him. His real name is unknown to us. The closest to a real name he has is Jovial Grace. And we then see that she's left to sleep, and we see Waryun walk away, and she says, "It's time to meet Bam who lost his star." And finally, everything ends at that part for episode 77. We then go on to 78. So we found out what happened there. This is the epilogue to the end. I believe this is the end of season 1. This is the final episode. So Han Sang-yu is seeing them off at this point here. He hands them their rings, and basically Kun passes on a little message to him, and he tells him to wait around because he wants to come back for him. And Leraro walks in, and he quits his position as an administrator on the floor, and he says he's done with working there, and he leaves. After that, Kwan says, "How can you let him go? You won't find a ranker like Leraro, and you have to go after him." So he says, since Leraro is quitting, Shouldn't you quit too, Quant? Aren't you two partners like Hamburger and Coke? And basically, Han Sang-yu says he thinks it's cruel to split them apart. And basically, Quant got fired and he has to chase after Leroro. And Leroro is like, don't follow me, go take your own path. So he says, why don't you tell me where you're going so I know not to go to the same place? He's just saying that he needs to take responsibility at this point. Leroro says he's going to the 77th floor where Walla Yuksong is. And he says if he goes there, he might find out a little bit more of the truth. And Quant goes on with the whole thing. Why don't I walk you there, Coke? And basically, Leroro says everyone can tell that you're the Coke. And basically, Quant passes off the little comment that it's racist to call him the Coke. And then we get Han Sang-yu saying that the Jahar family believes the boy is dead, and the guide must be going to the boy right now. Then we get Hwa-ryun down at the point where Bam is, and she says he looks awful. How does it feel to be betrayed? And he grabs his chest and he says, I don't know what this feeling is inside of my heart. I don't know. I should know why Rachel betrayed me. And he looks up at her and he says, and she says, this boy will make his way up the tower. Follow me, I'll tell you. Let's go up the tower. As promised, what we all want is waiting up there, is up there in the tower. End of season 1. Now that is where season 1 ends. We get the whole crazy impact of this ending, and it is something really important for you to understand. This is the end of the first season of the story. So let's iron out everything that happened. So starting off the story, we get the whole instant of Bam and Rachel entering in. We see that Bam chased after Rachel because she was leaving for good, and we get this whole impact that Bam and Rachel were friends. And we all believe this all the way through the story. It's just that later down the line, the more that she says and the more cruel things that she whispers, the more that we understand about her. The fact that she knows so much about the tower means that she knows a lot more about what's going on. She knows more about Bam than she ever let on. And the fact that she wants to take the place that Arlene had left for him. So Arlene Grace might still be immortal outside of the tower. That is something that we aren't sure about. She might still be around. She might have been sitting there on top, waiting for her son to climb out of the darkness and come to her, to leave the cave and come out into the light where she would see him and explain what they need to do. And she most probably would have went into the tower again, the irregular that she is, and just went straight back up and got everything ready for him, helped Fug, all of that craziness, revive Viol, whatever it is. But we don't know what was waiting for Bam outside the cave. All we know is that when she decided to leave to go up the tower, it was probably meant something was going on the top, like they were going to come down into the cave and see why he hasn't woken up, or there was a ritual that was about to be performed to see if it was time for him to awake. And at this point, that is all that we have. We have stipulation on what happened in the start. We do have her diary, so we know that Bam was taken out. We know that he was killed by Jahad and he was preserved with the spell. We know that the prayer was for the outside god to revive him. We know that he is given the power of an emperor. We don't know if he was born with the power of the emperor. We know that he has a special ability to mimic skills from those greater than himself. We know that he has an immense amount of hidden power that he hasn't even tapped into. Greater than a princess at their very entrance level. So yeah, we knew that he was that powerful. And this actually hints to something further down the line. Bam has never ever gone all out. We've only seen Bam go close to all out in chapter 3, season 3 of the manga, when he fought White. And I'm saying close to going all out because he didn't go all out. He didn't kill himself with that power. He held in reserve a thorn, and he held the Black March. So one thorn and the Black March hidden in power, that says that he took it easy on White. And that is crazy to talk about because he used soul power, he used his power, he used all other power besides Black March and that last stone. And we know that he can ignite the Black March, pass it through himself, take the power, and make it even more crazy. So all of that being hidden are things that we need to think about when the next part of the story comes. So this is the end of season 1 of the anime. It's the shortest of all the seasons. It's only 78 chapters up the tower. The next part we'll continue with is season 2. I'll be doing season 2 in rows of 10. Obviously, the numbers won't work out perfectly because the numbers are going to fall short everywhere as I go through all of the bits. So see you all then, and I hope that this is one of the best ways to climb up the tower with me. So see you all then, and have a good day.